once we arrived to the RMR, we realized that we actually like lack some confidence, some like preparation for officials. And after the RMR, this is what we've been doing for quite some time, playing some online tournaments, some qualifiers, and trying to get the most out of it.
Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview covering ESO Pro League Season 19. This time I'm accompanied by bodyy of Fnatic, who's a part of one of the teams that will be taking part in said competition. So bodyy, thank you so much, like I said before the start of the recording, for this interview. And yeah, I just want to cover as I usually do, covering what your headspace is like, what your mentality is like, as one of the teams that are taking part in this competition. Where are you at currently mentally?
Um, right now, we are at a point where we've been like building up with the team that we have, with the rookies that we have, and like we knew it will take time to like get into where we want to be. So right now we are 6 months into this team and like been grinding a lot recently, RMR, online tournaments, and getting ready for this event, right? So we think this is like kind of the right test for us since we've been like practicing for quite some time right now, and like we've been definitely needing to get a team result that would be significant and one that we could be looking up to and like making us um, go into the right direction, right? Like making us feel that we're going into the right direction. So we're here today and we are in the hardest group of the Pro League probably, and like it's definitely a great test for us and a great like yeah, I think it's the right group for us to like make the result that we want to make. And like overall the mentality is to go as far as we can and like get that result that we like need right now.
As you said, this team has been staying busy, since the end of the Copenhagen Major and RMRs and stuff like that, playing many qualifiers, up until this point. And yeah, what do you think has been the one thing that kind of grown the most, for this team, since Copenhagen up until now?
um I would say that we've been lacking a lot of official games before the RMR until now. Like we know that when we've built up this team, we got straight up to a tournament where we had like one practice on each map. Then we definitely knew that we had to like take our time and like put some basics and like create this environment, this team culture and stuff that we want to be in. So we had a lot of time to practice, practice, and practice. And then once we arrived to the RMR, we realized that we actually like lack some confidence, some like preparation for officials. And after the RMR, this is what we've been doing for quite some time, playing some online tournaments, some qualifiers, and trying to get the most out of it. So I think that we definitely improved on the confidence that we've been getting by getting into officials, and this is what we've needed to like play such a big tournament. So I think overall what improved was our confidence in our game, in our team, and in like pressure moments most likely.
You put in a little bit of emphasis on the young guys and just giving them the experience and just having to play in these kinds of officials, these kinds of big tournaments. How have you kind of seen their development? Since playing with them. Of course, I'm talking about Matty's QB and those kind of people. How have you seen their kind of form right now, and also their development? Since they joined the team, in addition to at around the time you joined as well.
So basically, we've been working a lot with them, trying to understand what works best with them and what like works less. Obviously, like you have to fight, like to figure out the weaknesses and the strength of your players to get the most, like the best out of everyone. Obviously, there are rookies and they have a lot of areas where they can improve, and I mean everyone does, but like you can most likely model them as you kind of want them to be, but at the same time they still have their things that made them like join Fnatic, right? Like that's why we picked them up. So we've been like working a lot with Mattis on his communication and what he feels confident in doing and what he loves doing. So we like get like we squeeze all the juice we can get from Mattis, and like he gives us all that. Um, QB like Mattis was kind of his first international team, so the language barrier from this like at the start was kind of big compared to now. Like we've been 6 months in, and everyone like it was also my first like international team, even more as a leader. So like there was some misunderstanding at the start. There was some misread, miscommunication. So we've been like trying to figure out how to get the most out of this with Mattis and me most likely, like to be able to speak the same language of CS. So definitely a huge improvement on that with Mattis. And on QB, it was most likely that both of them are really talented and they are like super good. And we had to find how to get that into the official games and how to like get them out of like the stress zone and more like put them back in their comfort zone in officials. It took some time, but I think that we got like a really good job this past month, and we saw that in like the RMR there was like a rough time for us to like find our pace, and like we played some great CS, but like we got come back quite a lot there, and like when we were not in our game you could feel that we're not in our game. So we like worked a lot on confidence in officials and stuff, and I think that you will see like different players from the last event that we've played.
That said, would it be fair to say that, in trying to develop these young people, these young players, would that be fair to say that that was kind of the hardest thing that you kind of had to work through as the IGO of this team? If not, then what do you think is the actual hardest thing?
um every team is different, right? Every team that you work in is different personalities, different ways of working, different backgrounds, different cultures. So obviously it was harder to communicate back in my French teams. This is where like I come from and where I started IGLing. I have never, as I said before, leading an international team. I was only co-leading and like kind of speaking of my ideas, but like not like being the masterpiece of it. So here, um, it's been like I had quite a rough time at the start as like a leader to adapt to my coach, adapt to the players that I have, and communicating my ideas, getting their ideas, and like mixing up, like being able to create the best out of all different backgrounds and ideas. Um, I wouldn't say that was my hardest job because they all come from like kind of experienced teams playing with experienced players, and like where they were kind of autonomous in a way that they know how to work, they know how to prepare games, they know like they've played some big events. Whereas when I first started leading, for example in Double Pony, nobody played an international event, nobody was playing in a real structured team, so I had to do it all on my own back then. And I think here, now that I got some experience and some like ways that I know work in a team, um, it was less of a hard job, I would say. It was just a matter of how to understand everyone and how to make myself um, like a great leader for the team and a person that people can rely on when it comes to like get their ideas and share the same view of CS, I would say.
One more question before I wrap it up. More so, just now looking into Pro League, and as you said, probably one of the toughest group, probably the toughest group, in this competition. But still sticking with the team, what do you see as like your overall expectations for this team? What do you see like the current bar in which, if you surpass it, then yeah, you'll be satisfied.
Um, I wanna like you mean for this event or overall as a rank?
For this event, and if you want to
Okay.
talk about that, yeah.
Um, for this event, as I said before, we want to gain as much experience as we can in LAN, obviously, and get, as I mentioned before, the like notable result that we definitely need with this team. I would say that I want to reach playoffs, and I think that's the goal of the team. We want to be in playoff of this event, but we don't pressure ourselves. We just, as I said before, want to go as far as we can and like make the practice work, what we've been doing for the past 2 months work, and show ourselves that we're moving into the right direction, right? This is the most important for us right now.
Of course, and hopefully you guys are able to do that. Body, thank you so much for taking the time doing this interview. Really appreciate your answers and your time here at this moment in time. And yeah, best of luck goes to Fnatic, but most importantly for yourself.
Thank you, Pedro. Thank you for the interview. Thank you for the time.